Boom, boom. What's up, y'all? How's it going, Livefast?
Hey. Uh,
So it looks like we got web dev stuff in the works, and we've got the intro page in the works, and I don't know if we have much else to talk about. Anybody have anything?
Well, yeah. So the intro page, I'm integrating into the gitbook now that I know how to do it. But you're saying you also want a separate. Oh, so when someone wants to apply, right? What link are they going to click on? Let's start there.
They're gonna click.
It-
They're gonna click on either the grants link on the home page or the link that we include in the announcement, which will take them to the grants welcome page. Both of those lead to, let's say, for example, dowpunks.io/grants.
Right. But so yeah, so it's not that link isn't going to be to the gitbook though, right?
No.
The gitbook's there to be a resource, like the full resource that people can visit if they want more info.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I was imagining that dowpunks.io/grants, we'll call that the grants welcome page, will be a brief and fun explainer of our vision for our grants program. That should give somebody enough of an idea of whether or not they want to apply, but doesn't have like all the details. And then there's a link to the gitbook that has all the details. So on the welcome page, it could say, are you wondering if you are ready for this grant program? Learn more here, and it'll take you to the gitbook.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense, or should
Gotcha.
we just include all the information on the welcome page?
No, I mean the simplicity I think is the goal. So if it's you don't need more info than just that first landing page, that's fine with me. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure I have an idea of like what key points I want for that one page, just in case they're not going to the grant book to view everything. So
Yeah.
I was just trying to, yeah, my thoughts on the key points are the timeline. Got to have the timeline of events, for expectations, for let's say when the payment's going to happen, when the coordinate's going to happen. So the timeline, the process, like after you submit this, you'll get an email confirmation if you're chosen to be a finalist, blah, blah, blah. And then the last key thing would be, I think, the basics of the coordinate distribution, like explaining how that mechanism works and what to expect.
Yeah. Are you that's on the web page, on the welcome page, or that's in the gitbook?
Oh well, it's in the gitbook, but I'm talking about for like our just the summary page. If they're not going to the gitbook to review all the docs, what key things do we need to make sure that every grantee is going to see, right?
Yeah.
Timeline, the process, how funding works. Oh, and I guess the summary of the expectations, like if you're chosen, we're going to interview you for, we're going to do an AMA. We want your feedback at the end of it. and then I think even putting the disclosures on, or whatever we're going to call them, just those last few notes about, what you need to know as a grantee.
So some of that information is already inside the form, and maybe that kind of makes me wonder, should we take it out of the form and put it into this welcome page? For example, if you
For
are awarded the
redundancy's
grant,
sake,
yeah, for example, there's this part of the form that's, if you are awarded the grant, you will be given your own personal channel in the DAOpunks Discord server as a member of Cohort 0, where you can seek guidance from the community to help you along your journey to full-time DAO. Grantees will be asked to provide updates on their progress through community AMAs and to share their story on the up-and-coming DAOpunks podcast. The first half of the grant will be provided to grantees up front, and the second half will be distributed after a progress check with the DAOpunk community 3 weeks in. Are you ready for that? Checkmark box. I guess the reason why it's in the form is because we want to really ask them directly if they're willing to do that. If we put it on
I'm fine with keeping it. Yeah.
If we put it on the home page, we could just say, "Are you ready for?" We could say, "Are you ready for that?" as like, and then have the button to the application, or say like, by submitting an application, like you agree to the this and that. I don't know. What do you think?
So I do still think that for that final submission, I fill out the application, I want to submit it. I do think there should be a few check boxes. I'm fine with that one because that's a clear expectation that you're agreeing to that by accepting the grant. Um, you're agreeing, I will do an AMA. I acknowledge, that the funding is going to be distributed in two pieces, and the second half being that, obviously for more info on that, we don't have to put like all the, the mechanism of coordinating. We don't have to describe it in great detail, but I think, having them acknowledge that right there, and that final submission makes sense.
I mean, I guess
the only thing that
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, what were you gonna say?
The only thing that I was thinking about adding was the last note, that Hiro and I were going back and forth on. But the main one is grantees are required to accept or respond within 48 hours. Oh yeah, we're not doing it after the snapshot. They're required to accept their nomination essentially, right? That's what we're saying. After that initial committee review process, you're required within 48 hours to accept.
Yeah.
Is that the point? That's the point we're having them acknowledge and accept, right?
Yeah, I think we should put that at the end of the application.
Yeah. With the date, once we know the actual date. Because other than those key points, the rest, like our mission and like what, the mechanisms by how it's going to work, all the, the calendar, whatever the case is, all the extra details can be on the explainer page and in the gitbook. But those things at the end, those like acknowledgements, those are the only like real requirements that they need to be aware of, right?
So throw that one in with the disclaimers. That'll go at the end of the form, because I think technical details like that we want to keep out of the welcome page, but we want them to be included in the gitbook so that somebody can like read up on that stuff before they bother to submit, to take the time to fill out the application. But Yeah, I don't think we need to put it on the welcome page. I think
Okay, cool.
some good content for the welcome page could come from the actual grants proposal, the ratified grants proposal mission section. It says Dowpunk's DAO was formed to cultivate the Dowpunk culture and help aspiring Dowpunks wow, there's a lot of oh, there's even another one. Okay, there's 5 DAOs in this sentence. Record for the most DAOs in one sentence. Okay, Dowpunk's DAO was formed to cultivate the Dowpunk culture and help aspiring Dowpunks transition away from the corporate world and onboard them into the DAO sphere. This is a community-governed and community-driven grant program that provides the initial resources and support that are needed to take the leap to go full-time Dowpunk. Grants will be awarded based on the Dowpunk mission and philosophy as defined by the community. As such, there will be many aspiring Dowpunks that will not be funded despite having legitimate needs and well-thought-out applications. Being a Dowpunk looks different to everyone, which is why the Dowpunk NFTs come in 4 broad archetypes: shadowy, supercoder, creative, anon, and crypto native. As such, the ideal applicant is broad. We are building the DAO sphere, which requires an incredibly diverse set of skills, values, and passions. Join us to build the future and transition away from the corporate status quo to the full-time world of Dowpunk play. So I think we could consolidate that spirit into like a few sentences probably. Because it is, after all, like the ratified mission of the grants program. I don't think we need that whole thing, but it's got some good spirit to it.
And
Just leave it.
I'm sorry, where are you reading that from?
That is the ratified grants proposal mission section, and that can be found.
Oh, right.
That can be found in the gitbook on the top page, Dowpunk Grant Program. Scroll down, and that Google Doc is embedded in the.
It's embedded, right?
Yeah. You can scroll through the whole thing there, which is kind of cool. I mean, I'd be happy to boil that down, so I can take care of that.
I think you should just leave it as is.
As is.
Yeah, try not to like. Don't really paraphrase the mission statement. That's just my take.
Yeah, it's just kind of long. Like, there might be, like, I don't know how much content we want this page to have. I was imagining like maybe 2 short paragraphs. One paragraph being like the purpose for the grant program, and the second paragraph giving an idea of who would be an ideal applicant.
Like the ideal candidate, yeah.
Yeah, without necessarily like defining it as the ideal candidate is this and this, but like just giving an idea of whether somebody,
Like
somebody would read that and have an idea of like,
yeah.
should I apply for this? And then a link to the gitbook which has all the details. But
Okay,
I
cool.
mean, but we could leave it as is too. I don't know. So let's just see what it looks like if we leave it as is, and then how much other information we have, and it might just be fine. Yeah.
It's hard to say what should be left in it, what should be like what it would look like when we don't actually have like a template to visually see what everything looks like. Like on the page when we're presented with the information.
Yeah.
Because like you could probably get away with saying a lot more, but in smaller font that draws draws less attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we should soon. I mean, Bushi's last update was positive. It sounded like, right?
Yeah.
What did he say? How to transfer the? Oh yeah. So once he takes control of the domain, then then we can actually start seeing it on the, in the page format, right?
Yeah.
That's like, that's just the last step before we can actually start playing with that.
it'll look good. It'll basically look like the home page. It'll look exactly like the home page, and we'll just populate that first text on the home page with what we're creating now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is just a small side note, but I brought it up with Myco earlier. I was also in the gitbook just removing mentions of the, we were playing around with the Dowpunk Liberation Fund as like a name, but I'm just going to remove that and just have everything be Dowpunk Grants Program. So that, and that, just for clarity's sake right now. Let's see. What else? Yeah, Myco and Livefast, you guys have seen like the calendar I laid out now?
Is it a new one? Or is
Yeah,
it the previous one?
No, same one. But I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
they look right to you guys,
yeah.
I didn't
like
analyze it
spacing
super
wise.
hard, but I kind of, it looks good. It looks good to me. I mean, do you want me to double check the numbers as far as the day spacing and stuff?
Yeah, I think so, because
Yeah.
I think it does help to see it visually.
Yeah, it totally does.
Maybe I can, I'll cut out the unnecessary, headers or whatever, and make it smaller and look nicer. But I figure we should just have a visual guide of the dates. For the explainer page, I mean. Or do you think that would just take up too much space?
Maybe in the gitbook.
No,
Have a
Okay.
have a page
And then
in the
I'll
gitbook.
just list the dates and checkpoints by text on the explainer.
Yeah, but in the explainer, maybe I would just do like,
Or I can link it.
I would just do.
I can have a little link that
I don't
says
think we have to do
calendar
all
view.
the
And
dates in the explainer. I think it just needs to have like the most relevant dates, like when the DAO votes on the applicants, when the applicant is
I can take out like
selected.
screening committee stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't need this. That doesn't really affect them.
Yeah, I think all that really affects them actually is when cohort 0 begins, and
Well, I mean, when we're posting it for the announcement, like when it's opening the applications, I think that's still relevant. Like, hey, this is when it opened, this is when they close, this is when it's actually going to begin.
if they're reading it, applications have already been opened, right? Because that's when we're going to
Right.
make it. That's when we're going to publish it. So we don't need to put that date because that's already passed. And then I guess when applications close.
Applications closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Applications are open. The page will say applications are open now. They close on this date. Or I guess so that we don't have to change it, it could just say applications are open between, yeah, like you said, between this date and this date. There will be a 10-day selection period and a 1-week DAO vote
Voting.
on, and that would be nice. I think there could be a sentence dedicated to the fact that the DAOpunk community is voting on the grantees.
Yep.
Making that clear is good. And then grantees will be awarded the first half of the grant on this date, and cohort 0 begins.
Cool. All right. And yeah, like I was saying, once we know the actual dates, I'll put it in like maybe a Google Calendar or something like that. I can always link to the calendar view.
That's actually pretty cool, because if we can make it so that calendar, that Google Calendar event, it would be a set of events. I wonder if we can make a button for people to add the whole thing into their Google Calendar.
Oh, okay, yeah, for reminders and updates. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, because that can include the date that they need to check their email to respond to accept nomination as a finalist.
Okay, yeah, let me write this down. That shouldn't be too hard to configure. So okay, I need to have Google Calendar.
And I think we should definitely have some kind of a link in there that says, do you have any suggestions for ways to improve this grant program? Or do you have any suggestions or inspiration? And give them a contact, but also just encourage them. Maybe just say, do you have any suggestions? If so, come talk to the community in the Discord and invite them, have a Discord invite link, and like encourage people to get involved. Just be like, this is a community driven grant program, and if you have any ideas, please come help us continue to improve it.
Sure. Iris, is that his name? Are you gonna help with that, or? Oh no, he's still in the hospital right now, right?
Yeah, he's out. But CB's got it covered. He said he's got
Yeah, I mean,
web dev skills and stuff.
yeah, like he's not gonna hold it back. I mean, like, oh, CB can't.
I'm sorry, your audio dropped out for like 10 seconds, so I didn't hear the last
Oh,
sentence.
sorry. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I was saying, well, Iris just messaged us saying he is getting out of the hospital today.
Oh.
But
Oh, that's great.
is there anything? What I was saying was, let's just say he wasn't here. Is there anything that he was gonna do, or wanted to help with that
Cool.
TB or you couldn't do if he wasn't here or available?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like CB could reach out to him if he needs help. At this point, I think we need to see. I mean, basically, CB said, I did send instructions to Red Band this morning on how to transfer the domain to me. I should be in control of it by this weekend. So, yeah. I guess we'll just see if CB wants any help.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just responding to him now. But cool. Well, that's all I had for now.
Okay. I just
Unless you had any other.
I just simplified this just to I think some of this mission statement is like oriented towards the DAO-Punk community itself. So I removed some of that stuff and just included what is more relevant to the outside community in the mission statement and in the grants proposal. So this is a DAO-Punks community built and governed grant program that is intended to provide individuals with the initial resources and support that are needed to take the leap and go full-time DAO-Punk. Grants will be awarded based on the DAO-Punk mission and philosophy as defined by the community of DAO-Punk NFT holders. Building the DAO sphere requires an incredibly diverse set of skills, values, and passions. Join us to build the future and transition away from the corporate status quo to the full-time world of DAO-Punk play.
Yeah, I like it.
Livefast, if you feel like you want to check the mission in the grants proposal, and if there's anything in that that's not included in this shortened one, then we can put it in there. I'll just copy paste this.
Where are you putting the shortened one, or where?
I'll just drop it in
This
the
is for the
grants
explainer
channel.
page.
Yeah, or should I? Maybe I'll put it. I don't want to crowd up the grants channel too much. Maybe I'll put it in the gitbook.
Okay, because yeah, that's what I was working on now too. So
Okay. In the gitbook, we could have one page that is just dedicated to the content that will go on the welcome page in the website, and maybe put that in the coordinator's guide.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe just title it brief public grants explainer. I'll add that page.
Okay.
I'll just add that page right now.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I have another meeting I have to jump into, so I'm gonna bounce out early.
Okay. Cool, man.
No problem, man. Nothing big today.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Right. All right. So, let me think. I think I have everything I need now to actually edit this stuff and get anything else might go. I mean, I'm fine with ending it early today.
Okay. I just created that page in there, so maybe that's where we can work from to create the welcome page. The brief public grants explainer under grants program handbook.
Yeah.
Do you see that in there?
Yep.
Cool. Okay, yeah, sounds good. We'll be working async. Maybe check in with CB after the weekend, and try to coordinate async so that by like next Thursday we've maybe we have the webpage live, and that'd be sweet. And then
webpage live.
If we got
get this explainer
yeah
live.
yeah, if we got the webpage live and functional, then we could spend the next meeting basically reviewing and making changes, and then Friday we can basically make a vote on whether we're ready to launch and pick a date.
Yeah, that seems about right to me.
Nice.
Very cool.
Very, very cool.
All right, man. Well, Hiro, I hope your wife feels better soon, and yeah, we'll catch you in the Discord and catch you next meeting.
Yeah, send our love to the fam. Wishing you all the best, and see you soon.
All right, guys.
Bye.